Hello and welcome back to round 3 of the 2021 CCR Open. We are back here at Devil's Den for our final and third round, and I'm joined here in the commentator's mic with Wes. How are you doing, Wes?
Doing great. We finally got some good weather here on day 3, and these guys are going to have ideal scoring conditions.
Yeah, thanks to the sponsors again for this event. It's always great to have people continue to grow the sport and continue to make events like this bigger and better. A lead card at GK Pro, we have a stacked card for Chandler Fry, Willie Prince, Tristan Tanner, and Luke Humphreys. But for our card, I think we may have a run for their money here, starting off with Garrett Gurthie, the Gator man himself. Big power thrower. We're super happy to have him on our card for the first time.
2019 champ. We see Luke Taylor, underground member, fighting off the mosquitoes.
He can't get his can to work until the very end. And world champ, speaking of which.
Junior world champ.
Yeah, I got Nathan Queen as well. Both Garrett and Nathan have been on feature and lead for the first 2 rounds, snuck onto the chase card for this round, so happy to have them.
Yeah, and we got Silver Latt from Estonia, 1003 rated, super underrated player, monster forehand.
Absolutely.
Exciting to watch.
Yeah, and he's the only player that we've had more than 1 round with.
Yep.
So happy to have him back on for 2 rounds.
Yeah, hole 3 kicks it off here, a tricky par 3. We may see some players go big hyzer, especially Garrett, taking the lines that he takes, but we did clear out the left side a little bit to offer the low skip hyzer for this one. Grass is not as wet as day 1, a little stickier, being a dry day today, so we'll see what these guys do.
The final round of the 2021 Discraft CCR Open. We have our MPO Chase card. Teeing off first,
Here I am teeing these guys off. Super exciting, final day. All of our hard work paying off, getting to the last day of the tournament here.
Yeah, round 1 we got to see 10 downs. You know, a lot of pros were talking about after that day 1 with all the rain, how different today was going to score. They were anxious to see if that 10 down was going to hold or if it was going to get crushed. And we got Hobie, who wasn't quite ready for that to go that high. Suddenly catches it at the end, but Garrett is kind of a person who's going to be throwing a little different than most people.
Yeah, we see him maybe go a little bit too overstable with that one. He finds himself about 45 feet, and again, this basket is up on a knoll, so if he wants to run that, he's going to really have to commit to it.
Thank goodness he has a Sonic.
I imagine we'll see that come out a few times.
The most free run disc of all time.
See Luke Taylor going with what looks like a force.
Yeah, it looks like a 5-claw zone, force, like you said, and
We got 2 tombstones. He's about 45 feet.
I think he was probably solely motivated just to outdrive Garrett Gurthie to say that he could. Got Nathan Queen up next. We got a lefty back on the card. Round 1, we had Reed as our lefty. Round 2, we had some forehand players. And round 3, we're going to have another lefty. So we're getting the full spectrum of lefty or forehand shots on all 3 of our rounds.
Yeah, and a couple different holes from what we saw in 2019. I think this course play is very balanced for both lefties and righties, so cool to see a lefty here.
And don't let him fool you. Nathan is a smasher.
I think this is his Roadrunner, if I recall.
Yeah, something real flippy. He's throwing it like almost as high as Garrett and Luke did, but he is planning on giving it plenty of time to just do that.
And what a drive. He's maybe 15 feet. As a lefty, the angle, the power, that's an incredible shot.
Yeah. And the card teased him the whole way up there. Like, I didn't realize this was a lefty hole. My bad.
Me either.
Now we know. Okay, Silver's in all white. I'm taking a mental note of it now.
Yeah, if you can
white.
go back and watch the round 2 coverage, Silver with a little bit of a wardrobe change mid-round. And it looks like he's got this on a great angle, good distance. He's going to find himself right about circle's edge. That's a great drive.
We are back in the Open, so we were expecting today to be the best day for mosquitoes, and it really was.
Oh,
Garrett, you should just put that in. That'd have been cool.
Great Sonic bid.
That is I think that's his 2019 Sonic. And Luke doing the same thing, just touch short. That little anthill getting in their way.
Yeah, you got to get that disc up, and you really got to commit. We see those guys coming up just a little bit short on it. Silver must have been just outside. Oh, no.
3 for 3 on the nub. Okay, Nathan, don't nub it. Please. Okay, thank you.
Great putt, Nathan. Good birdie.
Wait, I think if we had taken bets before this round started, I think every single person would have said that if only one person was going to birdie, it wasn't going to be the lefty.
Yeah, I agree.
But
Hole 1, the 6th hardest hole on the course, playing at 3.17, so just over par. We see these guys playing at under par, as you would expect from the chase card.
mm-hmm.
Hole 2 is a par 4, 600 feet. You'll see the Mando sign on the right, forcing players to go left through this gap. We do have OB along the left side in case these guys do not commit to the turnover, but plenty of grass space out here on the right. Players are going to look to throw a big turnover, get as far right as they can, and make their approach shot easier into this well-guarded green.
Have you ever seen someone before that Mando post get put up throw that line?
Absolutely.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's so much easier to just throw the power hyzer instead of this tighter turnover through here.
Yeah. I could see Garrett doing it. Like, I could see Garrett just being like big yawn and going over the top.
Yeah, he'd probably smash a hyzer up to the basket. This plays great for the lefty. We see Nathan with a big lefty forehand. He's in great position there.
Prime position there.
Double G might be thinking 2 on this one. Day 1, we saw him go OB left. Didn't quite commit to the turnover. Probably going Halo Wraith.
Yeah, it's either a Wraith or maybe a turn, but I'm assuming it's a really beat-in Wraith for him.
Oh, and he kind of hyzers out again.
That's almost too close.
Yeah, he'll be looking at the backside of this one again as well, which is there, but you got to contend with the OB.
It's always fun to watch Hobie's angles, too, because he's done a lot of filming, so we get a good idea of where pros should land and gets a good position to kind of watch those discs come in, and it's really funny sometimes to watch him take a spot, because this is pretty close to where people landed last time, and oh no, Luke went OB.
Oh, just barely creeps over the OB.
But just to watch Garrett throw, and then Tona's like, well, I got to film him 200 feet ahead of me right now, because Garrett's, not even human.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know if Luke just kind of missed the turnover there, or if he was playing the straight play.
He was really worried about it out of his hand. He went to the left trying to find a spotter to see if he could get a call, and I don't think he could see the spotter, and so he was kind of worried about it, but I think he mentally accepted the fact that he was probably OB, and so when he got up there, he wasn't really rattled. He was just, okay, I got to figure out what I got to do from here now.
Silver throwing a loose defender there and just smashes it. He's going to have a big high forehand approach.
He's trying to go forehand, and that one is too deep. He has gone past right in the dead center of those bushes, and he is not in a good spot.
No, that's really thick back there. We see Nathan going turnover putter shot and executes it perfectly.
Yep, it's about as easy as a 3 you can get on the hole.
So this is Luke throwing for 3.
This is birdie. He's throwing a zone here, and that looks really good.
Does well. Cool die on that disc.
Yeah, that thing is gnarly. If you've ever seen him on our coverage, he's always throwing that thing around.
So Double G kind of forced with the turnover left side.
He's throwing a sonic pretty much over the very top of this thing.
And he's hoping to just stall this by the basket. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. Nathan and Luke went to the right side knowing which way Garrett was going to go, and they both thought that went in for sure. They just saw it hit the branch, and they lost their minds.
Incredible. And Silver does have a little pitch out there for his par.
A little unfortunate because he really was in a great spot off his drive. You see him run out of that spot because as the sun peaked out, the mosquitoes kind of went away because it's just the best day for it. But in that area, they are still in their kingdom.
Yeah, you're kind of surrounded by the woods there.
That's the one spot you don't want to be.
Still can't get over that tree kick from Double G. That was incredible.
Yeah, if that had gone in, that would have been pushing for the. Yeah, they're talking about it right now. Like, what did I hit? Like, you hit that branch and almost went in.
Wow. Hole 3 is a tricky par 4 at 810 feet. We have OB long grass left. You have the shared OB with hole 2 on the right, and then OB running all the way up and around the basket here. This green is pretty tight. These guys are going to be looking to throw some big power drives right about where the drone is here to make their approach shot pretty direct. The difficulty does come around the green here, being so tight with OB in all of that long grass, but the basket does sit down a little bit in a bowl, so if you are within really 60 or 80 feet, you can give this a confident bid.
I think this tees up really well for a backhand lefty player.
Yeah, the flip up sets up nicely for a lefty backhand here.
Nathan gets some crazy distance on his low screamers. They just go, and he'll surprise you with a couple. He's actually got a great start. He's got 2 for 2. It'd be a great to get the first 3 here.
And speaking of distance,
Boom, shakalaka.
oh no, this was a little bit left, but that could have been traveling OB. That tree might have done him a favor. He's right by the short pad. He's going to have about 500 feet to the pin, which...
Yeah. It's in his range, but like he's kind of like pushing it if he's going for it.
Certainly, and with all the OB around the green, I don't expect him to.
He'll probably throw something higher than he needs to, and it'll land like 60, 80.
Luke throwing a great turnover shot there. Look, probably one of his nukes carrying to the right. He's in a great spot.
Oh, no.
And this just comes out left, right out of Silver's hand.
And it fought through the original bush, but then doesn't get past that little crevice, and he's going to be OB back here.
Yeah, that was such an early release.
I think he was a little fortunate to get this far up past that first bush because, I mean, he could have been behind that bush to begin with and it would have been a bad spot. But he pumped this one out there. He's going to have a relatively easier up and down, I think, for his bogey.
Yeah, probably one of his defenders he's smashing on there. What's Double G going to do?
He's going to throw it 150 feet up in the air and it's going to land 80 feet short of the basket. Somebody pay me some money right now.
You called it.
It's like I was there and edited it. I mean, that doesn't seem fair.
Yeah, the OB around the green, as I keep mentioning, is very tight, kind of forcing these players to play maybe a little bit more conservative second shot.
How wide is the circle in the cove itself? 40, 45, maybe?
Around the basket?
Yeah.
It's probably about 25 to 35 in there.
Really that close?
It's pretty tight. I think we're going to make an adjustment there. Next year we'll push the rocks back a little bit and expand that green.
Yeah, I like that. Nathan had a great power, but I thought he went OB long. And speaking of OB long...
Oh, Luke just smashes a forehand.
He needs to get out of the weight room at 15 years old.
And that's kind of some of the thought with the OB here is if you don't have a really great tee shot, it can punish players for getting too aggressive on the second shot.
Yep. It's exactly what Luke said. He's like, I just really wanted to get the birdie because I thought I could get one there and just didn't throw it well enough. Garrett with another sonic.
Oh!
Teasing it.
Right on line.
He's so casual about it, too. He, threw that, and, while it was mid-there, he's just like, it has a chance, and then, thought it didn't have a chance, so he just leaned over. He's like, what is happening right now? Nathan?
Oh, Nathan playing this hole well, getting himself up there for a bit into that bowl.
He wasn't sure if he should have jumped putt that or not. Couldn't tell if he had that power for it or not, accuracy-wise, and so he allotted to kind of throw it a little more than putt it, and it just was a touch short.
This is Silver after the OB looking at a bogey.
Yep. But considering how early he went OB, bogey's probably best case scenario. So, I mean, he played the rest of the hole just fine. You got to remember, Luke the same thing, right? You made one mistake, which means you should be taking no more than a bogey. And so if you walk away, that means you had great shots except one hiccup, which is acceptable to limit your mistake on the hole to just the one.
Yeah, Double G avoiding the potential OB with the tree off the tee takes a par.
Yeah.
We see hole 4 is a par 3, 364 feet. Just right straight ahead for these guys, but you do have kind of a low ceiling with that tree that we just flew by here. These trees on the left definitely come into play as well. Really, you want to throw something on a slight turnover, big forehand, or forehand straight up the middle is a great play. We'll see what these guys do here to attack this one.
The first 4 holes play a little easier than they did in day 1. So no rain. They got, I think, about a tenth of a stroke easier about on each one of them.
That makes sense. You see Nathan just a little bit low, but he didn't want to challenge that ceiling. And we see Double G go with the roller play.
Yeah, he did this in round 1. He said he left it really short, and so he said, no matter what, I'm going deep. And he certainly did.
Yeah. That is not OB back there, but he's going to be about 45, 50 feet putting back downhill at this one.
I think if he pushed the left side a little harder, that might have had a chance to curling up and getting around the basket, but that one just didn't have enough room to move back. And Luke thought for sure that was going in the weeds. You didn't see it in camera, but he turns around and then it hit the branch and landed straight down. And Nathan and
I like this play if you have it. This is a monster forehand smash.
go in.
Oh, and he goes right over the top of the basket.
I don't think people understand how big that is, because that basket is level with the tee pad, maybe a touch higher, but I think it's actually level. And he's throwing it 360 with a 60-foot shot in the air.
Yeah, that's a forehand smash.
Yeah, it's
not a lot
enormous.
of people can do that.
You go do that. Oh wait, you can't.
Definitely
Silver
not.
can.
You see Nathan, he's got his birdie bid.
Get it.
And he does.
He gives that signal every time he does something cool. He does a lot of cool things. Man, Garrett has been close 3 times with that Sonic. That thing's going to go in 10 times today, I swear.
It wants to.
It does. It's seeking. Oh, Silver nubs himself again.
We saw that on hole 1, just a little bit low from Silver. Luke cleaning up his par.
Luke gives me a little bit of anxiety sometimes because he putts his tap ins really quick. Like we saw it on the last hole. I didn't say anything about it, but he walks up casually and then threw it in and almost went too high, and he just was completely unfazed. He's like, "Yeah, I knew it was in the whole way." Did you? Because I didn't know it was in the whole way.
He's been making that putt half his life. Hole 5 is a par 3, 404 feet. You can see these trees on the right that will gobble up anything that is too low. Really, you want to beat this bigger shrubby tree that we are flying past on the right just now. You have the pines up here guarding anything short and the tree guarding anything long. I expect a couple of big hyzers and maybe a big turnover from Nathan here.
Yeah, Nathan's not going to do the reed shenanigan thing and go over the left side, so he's going to try to take the more traditional and try to turn this over, and he's leaving it a little bit short. He's going to be right in front of those pine trees. It's going to cut him off a little bit, so we'll have to see what he's got.
This is what I would expect from Garrett.
That was his entire warm-up, too. That was him standing, looking, and deciding all in one sweep, and then parking it.
Yeah, he just picks his spot out in the blue skies and hits it. Great drive there from Garrett. We see this one coming in as the 5th easiest hole on the course at a 2.79.
Mm-hmm. And that makes sense. Most players are backhand righty, and 400 feet should be within your range if you're playing competitively within the open field. So trying to throw those hyzers are pretty textbook. I mean, Nathan's really the one that's most screwed over in this scenario. And
this is a tough lefty hole.
Yeah, and he still has a potential chance.
Yeah,
Silver.
We see Silver and Luke catch that corner tree, which is very common. They're going to be left about 70 feet.
It's the most surprising thing I saw all weekend. It looked like he made no decision to run it, and I thought that's well within his range. I was a little surprised to see him take that as quickly as he did.
Oh, Nathan going with a little floaty bid through the gap there.
It's hard to tell from the camera. I'm actually quite a bit lower than he is, and kind of to see the basket.
Yeah.
He couldn't see the basket itself, so he's putting up and under. And great putt from Luke there, but
Young Luke Taylor.
Yeah, he's just showing everyone what 15 looks like. To be 15 again.
Yeah, I will say this next generation of disc golfers that Luke is a part of is just so exciting to watch. They've grown up watching a lot of these guys play, throw big drives, make big putts, and it's just going to be so exciting to see where the game goes in the next couple of years here.
And now they do both.
Yeah.
Got a par there from Silver. We got Nathan, who's going to tap in his par. He's pretty okay with it, too. He and Garrett were going back and forth, having a good time, talking about how Garrett's like, I wouldn't even hit metal there, so that was a good putt.
Yeah, he had a great bid through there.
Mm-hmm.
Hole 6 comes in at 1,001 foot par 5. We'll likely see the righties go hyzer through this gap. Nathan will probably throw a turnover, although he will have the option to go left over the OB. The OB runs all the way along the long grass on the left here up to the corner. Runs along the right side as well. We have that sand trap OB in the middle. Double G is probably thinking that 3 is certainly in play here.
Oh, yeah.
I think for the other guys, 4 is going to be a good score.
Also, oh, yeah. I think Garrett probably in his mind is thinking if he can smash this and be 100 short of that sand trap, he's probably put himself in position to go get that that 3 look.
This is one of his destroyers, and that looks great.
A little high. It's going to travel a little farther left than I think what he's hoping for, but really safe.
Oh, that's a prime position right there. He's going to have a long, straight look at the pin from there.
Luke really not having that bad of a start so far. Just looking to hopefully convert here. Kind of just slower in general. And that's, yeah, right by the short pad. We talked about that in round 1. That's an okay drive. And
Yep.
The perfect position for your setup for a 4. So weird to watch Nathan play because I watch Reed in round 1, so I keep thinking, why aren't you going on the big lefty bomb or hyzer? Oh, it's Nathan, it's not
Yeah,
Reed,
Nathan's
so.
a great woods golfer. Really great disc control, great turnovers. We see that there. In round 1, he caught that pine right at the corner, so we see him maybe going a little bit wider.
Yep, trying to play a safer line.
Yeah, it does creep. The OB creeps in by that pine.
It's easier for him to grab something a little more understable and just to aim way farther right and higher because it's just going to land in the safe spot no matter what. So,
Yeah, and this fairway is probably all of 150 to 200 feet wide, so a lot of landing space for these players.
yep. It's this fairway that can be tricky, and this needs to hyzer out. Like, it needs to hyzer out quickly, and it's not going to.
Yeah, that is way left.
He is going to be OB, and he couldn't believe it out of his hand. He threw it, thought it was great, just never hyzered out, just kept flipping.
Yeah, it looked like it wanted to. We see Silver with another
Get off of it.
monster forehand. It looks like he does get around the tree. He gets past the sand. He'll be a little bit in no man's land in the middle of this fairway. You kind of either want to be left or right, so we'll see what he does from there.
Yep. Luke in a really ideal spot here for a birdie. Yep, and this is looking good as long as it hyzers out a little bit.
I imagine that's one of Luke's nukes. He kind of catches that tree that we saw Silver sort of land by, but he kind of kicks left, so he should be on the good side of the fairway there.
He only bags like 8 of them. I feel like he has a Luke for every scenario. Or a nuke for every scenario.
Luke nuke?
I said it right. You know what I said. This is looking like it's tracking towards the cluster, and it certainly does. He's in the dead center of that.
He was running that basket.
Yeah, he was 100% trying to just
It's about,
put that
I
in
think it's
circle.
close to, it's over 600 feet, I think, from where he was. And he's thinking, I'm running this.
Yeah, so probably in that mentality, in case you're all wondering about that mentality, because I don't even know, but he's probably thinking that a perfect shot can put him in circle and an imperfect shot will still give him an easy up and down. So he's probably just saying there's no risk, especially with no OB on that left side. So it's just like, just go for it, and whatever happens is going to happen. And so we'll have to see how that goes. Nathan with a brilliant upshot. Luke, unfortunately, pushes it a little long again.
That's pretty good from where he was, though. He had some awkward footing, awkward line. He's going to have a putt from there from about circle's edge, but in the rough.
Tatar getting out of my camera. You don't. You're allowed to be on camera. You're a pretty awesome star. Looks like Silver also went into the tree line, so he's going to have to pitch out.
Yeah, and Silver just kind of seems a little frustrated with his play to start here. We see he's 1 over through this front, which, as these guys are showing us, definitely has some birdie potential.
Oh, no. That did not go as far as that needed to. I don't know if it caught anything. I don't remember it catching anything, but I remember it being very high, and I don't think it just was enough.
Oh, and Luke for his birdie bid there. You can see the mosquitoes are tougher on this
part of the course.
This section. You have a lot of woods surrounding this part of the course here.
Oh,
And Double G's gone to that stepper for just outside the circle too, and we saw him make a couple of those on the other coverage.
Yeah, and he's looking a lot better. I think for a long time his just outside circle putting has been something that he's wanted to improve, and he's looking a lot better with that, and it's going to be exciting to see him play more on tour.
Yeah, I think Double G also just kind of has some putting magic at the CCR Open. It seems like he putts well out here.
Well, the year that he he won it when Tim Barham and Paul Macbeth were here. I mean, he played this course 3 times, and this is his baby. He likes this course.
A lot of airspace out here for Double G. Hole 7 is a par 4 at 830 feet. This one playing at a 4.95 on the day, so the most challenging hole on the course. You have OB long grass left, including up by that tree there. OB long grass on the right. The OB does cut off at the path that kind of winds to the left there, but a very difficult green to access. You really just have this tight hallway. Really requires a committed turnover shot off the tee and then another big drive to get up there for a look at the 3.
We'll probably see Garrett get up there in a couple shots and then probably like try to go over that, which is something that no one else is going to do.
That's very possible.
I mean, that's what he did in 2019 too. It just is so much easier for him to do exactly this, put it into the open air space, dead center of the fairway, and then look at that gap and go, I'd rather go over it and just try to launch this over it. So it's highly, when I was filming this, I was highly in anticipation of that.
Yeah, Double G's so far up there, it's hard to exactly describe how far he is up there.
Yeah. You should show up and watch. It's amazing.
Luke with a great drive as well.
Side note, too, hole 6, while playing almost .95 in round 1 over par due to the weather, I think, playing just .07 over par in round 2, almost perfect to par. So weather really playing a factor on hole 6, but not so much on hole 7 as it still demonstrates to be one of the harder holes.
Yeah, that is an interesting note.
Definitely good information for next year.
Yep.
Is this a hole you think you would change to a par 5?
We're definitely going to consider it.
Yeah. I don't think par is really that important in the grand scheme of things. I think these pros are looking at this hole and saying a 4 would be really good and a 3 would be amazing, and not really looking at the par itself. But it's just interesting to like make that prediction too, because it feels like that's what a lot of pars are, is just seeing what do we think the pros are going to do and try to shred around it.
Any podcasts that want to talk about it more?
Oh yeah,
hit me up.
Hit me up. All right, well, let's talk about this all day.
We see Luke with a really great second shot there. He is up by the mouth, so he should have a pretty clean look in there, maybe a little half bid.
My Instagram handle. No, I'm just kidding.
We see Nathan going with a beautiful turnover shot.
This is looking so good.
Wow.
That's a smash. And that's about as good as you can ask for if you're outside of like Garrett Gurthie kind of power.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a brilliant shot. Luke doing the safe shot, laying a little shorter, but like being a little safer. Nathan getting aggressive, and Silver also trying to get a little aggressive, and I don't think this turned over quite as much as he wanted.
Yeah, he was probably thinking I'm going for the 3 here with a little bit of a slow start, but he hyzers out just a little bit early. Yeah. And we are finally getting to Double G's drive.
I mean, this is like 80 feet past what we just saw plus. Told you.
Oh, and he's going up and over again. He did this in 2019.
All the time he did this in 2019, and he like hit the very first thing that he needed to miss, like he just didn't, and it just knocked him early and left. He's still in there. He should be able to go up and down relatively easily.
Ooh, and Luke hanging that a little bit to the right.
Yeah, that was
wow. He squeaks through. He's gonna be at about circle's edge though. He was hoping to do a little bit better, I think.
Yeah, Luke was not happy with that shot, and when it got past the tree, he went, "Whatever it is, I'm happy." Like that. That's fine.
Silver kind of pinched off here. Going a little bit deep.
Yep.
He's going to be roughly at about circle's edge or just inside there as well. Nathan with a 3 look.
Not as cool as Joel's lie, but we're going to take it. Give me this birdie. Yeah, and he kind of joked about it too. He said he like ran it thinking he had a chance, and then he like looked down. He's like, I had no chance. This stance, I have no power. That Sonic is that you got to go in, bud. You got to follow your dad's advice and get in the basket for GG there. Come on.
Nathan with a little tap in 4. Like he said, he's happy about that.
I need Garrett Gurthie to make more so that Innova will make more. If he makes more throw-ins with them, then Innova has to make them, and then I get to have more.
And Luke with a really great par. Hits a great putt there. You see him pick up his mini halfway through. Well, not quite, but...
Yeah, but it was one of those classic, I know that's going in.
Silver's got to feel good about that par. That was a really great putt after the second shot kind of hyzering in early. Good to see him make that one. Garrett
Gurthie, last one. I don't think there's any way he misses this. This is too close for Garrett.
Yeah. You see a nice star par, which is great. That's shout out to Chandler Fry. One birdie.
Solo 3, yeah.
One birdie on the weekend.
Good for him.
We get into hole 8 here, which is a 230-foot par 3, and although it is short, it is a tricky hole. You kind of have this left fairway here, where you can kind of miss these trees just to the right or just to the left. You can also play a safe hyzer through a right gap, so players have some options here whether they want to attack the pin or maybe give themselves a longer putt to run.
I was really hoping for Garrett to throw Sonic here, but I think this is a rock 3.
I believe it is.
Yep. And I was wrong. Let me just put that. He picked the right disc. I'm wrong, and he put it in circle.
Yeah, Garrett's bag, pretty simple.
Yeah, I mean,
Luke going with the...
it's got to turn over, and it doesn't.
Oh, and he just catches the big tree there. He misses that just left, and he's...
I never would have guessed that would have been play. I would have said he was going to throw a roach on Heiser all day, and when he put that in his hand, I was just like, all right, we're going to watch what this does then.
We see a couple of the pros going with the forehand turnover.
Nathan also hitting the same tree that you got to miss.
And you can see the gap there if you just miss that tree, but so many discs find their way to that tree.
I love this line. His little higher, which is okay, I think, in my opinion, and just putting it on Anheuser and letting the disc own stability to come back into play. And he went a little deep, but I really like the play overall, just being more consistent. We saw Marweed here in round 1.
Oh, good bid from Luke.
You know,
a little bit of a comebacker there.
15-footer. Nathan's going to be in a similar position, but he's going to try to take that left side.
Oh,
no.
You have a couple small guardians there. Chance we'll take those out in the future.
Really?
Oh, Silver just a little bit low again.
Is that the third nub he's got?
Yes.
Like that kind of area? Garrett looking to stay hot here. If you can go 4 down through the front 9, you're doing just fine. 5 down is nuts.
Yeah, the back 9, very scoreable. Super excited to get to that. Let's give Luke Taylor his time.
To shine. Okay, world champ.
Great putt. This hole playing at 3.12, so actually playing a little bit over par. Hole 8 was the 7th hardest hole, so towards the middle of the pack, but at just 230 feet.
Yeah, it's a little surprising. Oh.
Oh, no.
Not sure what happened there, if there was a distraction or not, but Nathan not happy about that. He's going to...
Yeah, we see him maybe a little frazzled from the prior shot there and maybe just not quite able to refocus.
Yeah, Silver giving him a pat on the back to let him know you got the next one.
Yep. A lot of scoring opportunity left for Nathan.
Yep. And Nathan's a pro. He knows that it's just on to the next hole because one bogey's not going to define your round. It's the whole round together, so he's got more disc golf to play still.
Absolutely. Hole 9 is a par 4 at 492 feet. Really is about position off the tee here. You want to get something left of where this short pin is to have a little bit straighter look through this gap right here to get up to the pin. If you do land a little bit too far right, there's still the opportunity to throw a turnover to get yourself up there, as we saw in round 1.
Mm-hmm.
Double G's probably thinking high spike Heiser.
Shocker. Who would have guessed?
But this does need to carry left.
Yeah, cameraman chose a different position to that. Decided to be in front of the gap today. So Garrett in a great position there, right by the short pin.
See Luke taking the little bit lower Heiser, and I like this play. You get the little flare skip there, and it also leaves you back a little bit further to give you more opportunity, more options at angles to get through the gap.
Or over it, as we saw Reed do in round 1.
Successfully, too.
Yeah, I know. It's like, why do things when you can do cool things?
You see Silver kind of taking this high Heiser.
Yep, kissed those branches, but didn't slow it down at all. Just kept it carrying. And if you're wondering what that little black stick in the fairway is, that's the metal pole inside of the hole for the short pad.
Yep.
Which Nathan and Garrett have lots of fun with after their drives.
Oh, this is really far right.
Yeah, he's grabbed the most understable thing I think he could have, put it way in the air and put it in a perfect spot.
That was so well executed. That's such a high level shot to trust that disc way out there and turn all the way back over.
Shout out to John Clark, who was spotting on this hole.
Silver with the harp. Oh, and almost throws it in for a 2.
Yep. I don't mind another eagle on the card. I'm fine with that. I think this is his challenger.
I believe so.
Certainly looking like it.
Oh, and he's left with probably about a circle's edge putt.
Yeah.
You really just got to beat those trees that he kind of hit there. You want to miss them to the right and give yourself a little more opportunity. Garrett with the Sonic, a little groundwork. He's right up there for a putt.
Got Nathan here, and I really like this angle for the lefty, and even with the tree kick, he's still 10 feet.
Yeah, Nathan played that hole so well for a lefty. Big turnover into just kind of a soft lefty hyzer.
Yeah, I was going to say, just like hole 1, it's like, this is totally a lefty hole. And then Nathan's like, it actually is.
Oh,
Dang.
and Luke with a big putt.
Good putt from him. He's keeping the star frame alive. I love star frames. Let's get one here.
Yeah, Luke does putt with challengers, as you mentioned.
Yeah, they're different than what I've been seeing. I've been seeing him putt with these double stamped orange challies, and today they were purple, so he got me all sorts of off my game.
Maybe switching up for the weather.
Yeah, you can't do that to me without telling me ahead of time, Luke. Come on.
Nathan cleans up his birdie. Maybe not quite in the fashion he wanted. After the last hole, maybe the putt feeling a little bit shaky, but he cleans it up. And Silver with a confident putt.
Yeah, they get that birdie frame.
There we go.
I'm down.
Great way to finish the front 9 here.
Yeah, let's do that 9 more times. 10 through 18. All right, Garrett with the 2-stroke lead over Nathan, who have had a pretty solid front 9. Garrett being the only one clean here, even though the weather's better. A few more bogeys here from OB strokes and just some misfires. Thanks again to all the sponsors for at this event, helping us continue to put on great events. And, of course, thank you to all the Patreon supporters for continuing to allow us to go out there and film. Thanks again, Wes. This has been great. We got a great final 9 to come up. This is going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, very scoreable on the back 9. Expecting a bunch of birdies. Should be fun.
Yeah, let's see it out.